In 1997, a couple months before I was born, my dad had a major car accident. He was rushed to the emergency room, and when my mom got there, the doctor told her that my dad needed a new heart. Now, if you aren't familiar with how long the average wait is for a heart transplant, it's about 4 months. But my dad didn't have that long. He needed a new heart as soon as possible. Luckily for him, he was high on the waiting list because the doctors thought it was a good idea to try and keep him alive because he had a child on the way. He ended up getting a new heart within 24 hours because a guy that had recently passed had a heart that matched with his. I can never thank that man enough for being an organ donor because he gave me a life with an amazing and loving father. Did you know that about 21 patients die every day because of the lack of donor organs? I understand that it can be hard to think about what is going to happen to your body after you die, and it can be a little scary, but being an organ donor is a generous and worthwhile decision that can save someone's life. There are many myths that are thought to be true about being an organ donor. The biggest myth that I have heard was that you are too old to donate your organs and they aren't good enough anymore. Well, that's not true, obviously why they call it a myth. There's not a cutoff age for donating organs. The doctors will decide at the time of your death whether the organs and tissues are suitable for transplantation. Another myth that I have found is that the rich and famous go to the top of the list when they need a donor organ. That myth is definitely not true. It may seem that way just because the amount of press generated, but they are treated no differently from anyone else. Over 120,000 people in the United States are waiting for a transplant of some kind, whether it's a heart, kidney, or liver. If one person registers to be an organ donor, that one person can save and restore up to as many as 50 lives. Many families say that knowing their loved one that has passed saved another life helped them cope with their loss. I am forever grateful the man that gave my dad his new heart was an organ donor. Because of him, I grew up with a father figure in my life. Registering to be an organ donor can not only help change the life of the person in need, but can also help change the life of their family like mine. Becoming a donor is easy. You can register with the National Donate Life Registry. Registering with them ensures that your donor registration travels with you no matter where you live. You can also designate your choice on your driver's license, and you can do this when you renew your license. You also need to tell your family and those who are closest to you. I got all of this information for my speech from the Mayo Clinic website. Seeing that this was one of the topics that we could talk about, that made me really excited because I have a personal attachment to this topic. I really hope that this speech could reach someone and change their mind if they aren't already an organ donor. Every person really does make a difference, and me and my family are a living example.